Hello, 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 everyone. It is, I almost said it's Monday. It is Wednesday.
All right.
Old times.
Time to talk some Seeking Sister Wife, and we have a lot to talk about. I miss Grace. So for this intro, I made a little something to remember her by. So we'll let the room load a little bit and let's just remember Grace.
Typically, I don't really care if people like me or not. Like, I communicate with the universe. And it's called channeling. So you understand what therapy is, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you fix your
I'm
problems.
sorry,
They
have you
just-
been
they
to a
need to-
therapist before?
Have not.
Okay, that shows.
I wish we had more of her.
I'm sorry. Have you been to a therapist?
There was there's zero stakes in that really. I mean, they have kids, but their kids are young enough that hopefully like they'll figure their shit out before they traumatize their kids too much. But um I would have loved to have seen Grace and Shane just like go at it for a whole season. That would have been nice.
Yeah, right. What's ironic? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, James.
What's a little ironic is it just occurred to me that he said, I don't know how therapy works, but his wife is a therapist, right? She does therapy. She does counseling.
I forgot.
I think she's like a psychiatrist or like a psychologist. She's like
Right.
like a doctor level.
Right, exactly. So it's like, oh, I have no idea what that means. Like even though my wife is a mechanic, I don't know anybody who fixes cars. Like what?
Yeah. Good point, James.
You know what, Sarah, when you were saying how much you miss Grace and how you would like to see her some more scenes with her and Shane, I was like, you know what? That's why it's nice when you have seasoned reality stars on your show because they know to like kind of let's prolong this fight a little bit before we get Grace out of here. Let's get some nice TV in first, They'll give us that good theater school acting.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, the Marfields, whoa. Like, we have so much to talk. The Ryans, we have so much to talk about, but the Sherwoods are relatively unproblematic given the circumstances that we find ourselves in. Who would have thought?
Yeah, right.
Probably because they don't really fit the show.
I think you're onto something there. What was really funny to me this episode was when, Ashley is, Sarah, her date is like, yeah, I'm open to like trying new things. I mostly date men, blah, blah, blah. And Ashley's like, well, I'm looking for a wife for myself. Like, you won't interact with my husband. Like, I'm
Right?
like, oh, I feel like we're all on separate pages here.
Right.
But
Right.
that's not the only family that we're on separate pages with. So we open up with the Davis family. Danielle is back after having moved out for 5 minutes. They're having a backyard dinner to touch base. Nick is confused because according to him, they've been super upfront about everything. And now it's a surprise to him that Danielle is having reservations. James, what's your take? I know you have thoughts.
Yeah, I do. Well, first up, I got to give a lot of credit to the young ladies who are representing on the show because, for the most part, what we've seen, like to this point, has been the younger portions of the younger conglomerates of these relationships pushing back on the older folks. It's completely reasonable for somebody, whether they're 23, 25, or 53, to get involved with a relationship and say, you know what? Now that I've been involved in it, and we're starting to move into stage 2 of this arrangement, I kind of have second thoughts. Maybe this isn't something I want to do, And for her to say honestly, like for Danielle to say honestly, I've never had a functioning monogamous relationship before. I don't have that history. Now all of a sudden I'm jumping in like, forget that. I'm going right off of easy mode, fuck hard mode. I'm going right to nightmare. I mean, in this whole situation, pardon my friend. But I'm going right to the most difficult level of trying to maintain and navigate relationships. So yeah, I'm all for her backing out of it. Not backing out, but at least taking a step back to figure out if this is actually what she wants to do.
Amanda, that was quite the revelation to me when she said that I mean, when you think about the fact that she's 24 in the grand scheme of things, or however old, she's in her early 20s. It's not shocking that she hasn't had like a full, like long-term relationship, but the fact that this is her first foray into commitment, what was your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's shocking, but it's also, I'm like, it kind of makes sense too. Like, okay, maybe if you're more experienced, you're not jumping into this situation necessarily.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I feel like, okay, Sarah, who's dating Ashley, her, like, okay, she has an 8-year-old. She has some experience with something. I don't know. But okay, like she's willing to give new kinds of relationships a shot. Danielle haven't even had old kinds of relationships.
Right.
And
No, I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say, and I think that that's a big part of it because as we talk about, like historically with like the Browns, and even as we move into different types of polygamy, there's always that question that always, or at least the fact that always kind of perforates to the rest of it, which is there is one legal wife. So you could spend 15, 20 years building into a family, and then after 20 years, 30 years, you could walk away literally with nothing to show for it. Like, and I'm just looking at the asset portion of it. You don't have protections in this type of relationship. And so that's something that has to be kind of mulled about in the mix. When you're sitting there talking about spiritual marriages and we all get along, we all sister wives, and we all family. You're all family and there's an agreement until there isn't one. And that's just something that they have to take into account.
Yeah. Sorry. I am so curious because, Danielle is so young. And I don't know how old Jen is, but I think April's in her 40s, like her late 40s, because she has like a teenager. Where is Danielle's family in all of this? Like she left and got an apartment. She didn't like leave and go to like her parents' house or anything.
Right.
So I'm just so curious. And it would make me view this situation differently is Danielle looking at this family as some sort of like safety net for her? Like, is this better than sleeping in her car or something? Like, is she settling for this because it's security in some type of way? I kind of got that vibe, and I don't know. What did you guys think?
Well, gossip rumor and innuendo in the chat is like, is Danielle friendless, an orphan? It's like, we saw Danielle's friend, and Danielle's friend was like voicing a lot of these concerns. I think that's a good theory. When you were talking about that, the first question that entered my mind was like, does her family know if she does have relationships with her family? Like, I wonder, like, honestly, when I was in my lower 20s, this is totally something I would have kept I kept my sexuality from my family until I was like 26. And so you can hide a lot of stuff from your family if you think like, I don't necessarily want to hear my, uncle or my parents' thoughts on this.
Right.
I can totally appreciate that. But like, I don't know. It's like if I'm in a situation where I'm like, this is messed up and I am not down with this, like, what does she have something to fall back on?
I think it's a failing of the show that we don't know the answer to this question. How do we not have any background at all on one of the main stars of the season so far? How?
Yeah.
Right. And she's been on. This is the second season she was on, so it's not like she just appeared. We're just getting to know her. We're only 4 episodes in. But I would also say that, even with the family situation or friends, you could have a family where your still linked to your family. You aren't necessarily estranged, but you aren't necessarily close. Maybe you don't rely on them for advice. You might not look to them for guidance, but they may be around. And that might be the situation she finds herself in. Because the one thing that I will say, and I think Sarah and Amanda, you both hit it kind of on the nail. One of the things that struck me when she was talking about like going back to the apartment and feeling so alone. You know what I mean? And there was a hint of desperation in wanting to have some type of companionship with, I want to have some people around. I want to have people around me. I want to feel that feeling of unity and family. And I want that. And these people are offering it to me. And that's how a lot of folks, like even with some youth and that kind of thing, when they fall in bad with certain gangs or organizations or certain things going on, bad kids in the neighborhood, it's because those kids give them something that they're not getting at home. And that could be a thing, an end that the Davises used in order to pull her into this situation.
Yeah, and then something else that struck me is she seems to be really pushing back against the idea of having to like marry a woman. And then there's the whole them sharing one bed. I'm starting to wonder if there's more to the relationship than just Nick with each of the women. What do you guys think?
Are you asking? Are you saying that like you think
is there some expectation that she is going to have to be like physical with any of the wives? Is I guess what I'm asking, because she seems to be really like, at first I thought, okay, she doesn't want to like legally marry someone because like that's a legal marriage and like she's in her early 20s, like
right.
All signs point to this is for funsies for her. But is like in this episode, I'm like, is there some expectation that something else is going on here? Like, I don't know.
I mean, like, let's go back to last season, one hot tub, the four Davises, and it's not that big of a leap to think that Nick might expect intermingling in the family. Right now, though, I think what they're selling to the show is that no, this is like polygamy. This is just him and each woman.
Yeah, and I decided a long time ago I have to take people at face value. If I think too hard about things, then it's like it'll drive you crazy. But it's just like something about this situation. I'm like, do I love these people as much as I thought I did?
Right, no, Sarah, I'm right there with you. I was actually thinking that exact same thing today. I was like, I think the Davises are supposed to be the heroes of this show this season. But because Danielle is so young, I'm having a hard time like eating up that narrative.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I want to go on record as saying I never really liked it.
James, of course. With his I told so moment.
Nick was getting me because just the way he was going about things and the way he was talking, like he would say a lot of stuff, but he wasn't really saying anything. He wasn't really specific on a lot of the stuff that was going on. Like I just like, for me, I think that if this is what people decide to do, everybody is entitled to live their life how they live their life. If you want to have 4 wives and they all mess with each other, and Nick is in there, and he's the ringmaster, that's your business. I hope you enjoy the circus. But at the same time, don't have people involved in your stuff that don't fit in your stuff. Like if she doesn't feel comfortable, my big thing would be if Danielle doesn't feel comfortable doing this, don't ever force somebody into doing something they don't feel comfortable doing. Like if she's down with it and she's all about that life, then have at it, Hoss. But if she says, well, I don't know if this is what I want to do. I don't know if I want to marry somebody else. Let her have that option. Give her that autonomy that that is hers. Like she can have her autonomy. She can decide whether she wants to marry somebody or not. That's a bridge too far for me. Off rip. And the fact that it's creepy as hell. I'll say this. It's creepy as hell that they keep pushing that on. Like you have to get married. It's not just that we're gonna be looking for people, but you have to marry them. No matter what happens, this is what we agreed to. And since you agreed to it, oh well, you're in it now. Like you can change your mind.
Yeah.
You have every right to change your mind.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a healthy poly relationship. It seems too culty when it's like, yes, you have to marry. Like, what?
Right.
No, why doesn't her voice count? You know, did they get this 22-year-old on purpose and they thought they could control her?
Yeah, there's just a vibe of like no refunds, no take back. Like you signed up for this, like final sale. Like, sorry.
Yeah. No takesy backsies. Yeah.
Right.
And then Nick, so it was so funny. So they meet up to have like some one-on-one time and they color coordinate. I love that. So it's purple's the theme. Nick has his fedora. He just always, in his going out attire, he's always looking like a magician to me. He looks like he loves him a Hot Topic. He is like truly brown, but like a man, a grown man.
I know. I'm like right on the edge because like sometimes I like to take risks, I'm not gonna lie. And so I'm like, I kind of like he kind of owns it a little bit.
Sure.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm on the edge style wise with Nick.
No, it's so funny. I love how I wish I was confident in my style the way he is. I mean, if it's not athleisure, I'm pretty much not interested. But he dressed up to be a stay-at-home dad, and now he's gonna turn tricks, but not in that way. I think he's just literally a magician. So,
and confidence is right because after this episode, I was like thinking about how his famous thing on this show has like one of his funny things has been that he's like, I'm just staying at home thinking, and this is my valuable content. It's like that confidence to think like I just had a thought and that is really valuable. Like, okay, I want that confidence.
When he said we have enough workers, we need more thinkers, I was like, God bless you.
And the crazy part to me is that like I don't mind so much the fact that he said, we need more thinkers and not enough workers. But when you're sitting next to the workers who are paying for your life and lifestyle, it's a little bit, that's a little gauche. Like, calm it down, bro. Take it down a minute. Like, that's something that you say amongst your buddies when you out and your wives are at home and you sitting there talking trash. Yeah, we need more workers. I ain't trying to work, son. I'm trying to think about stuff. What are you thinking about? I don't know yet. Like, I don't know. What does he consider? And that was the thing, too. What is he thinking about? Life and this thing we call life? Like, come on, man.
I just remember a segment he did about time, right?
Yeah, he gave like a book report one time about like what he had learned on the internet that day. And it was cute. It was endearing. But yeah, they're no longer my least problematic. I think the Sherwoods have moved into the least problematic for me. And that doesn't necessarily mean most healthy, just least problematic. So there's two different categories.
Yeah, jury's out on how this is going to go for Shane.
Yeah, and it being that she is in the mental health field, I have so many questions. But she uses all the right buzzwords. She would say things like, and then we moved into some high level topics and stuff like that. And like, as someone who is in therapy, it's like, oh, buzz, 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 buzz. Those are all the words you use.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So Ashley is not wasting any time. She hopped off the Grace train and now she's moving on to Sarah. They meet up for a park picnic in a place in Massachusetts where nobody has the Boston accent. And I asked my husband, who's from Boston, where is Wayland, Massachusetts? And he was like, I don't know. And he's like, usually if people from like the Boston area don't know, they just say Western Massachusetts. So I don't even know if that's accurate. But I did notice that nobody has a Boston accent.
It's a disappointment, honestly. It would have been fun.
Shane with a Boston accent would have been something.
Imagine like CT from The Challenge.
Accent.
Yeah.
A spiritual entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah Sarah, who is the new apple of Ashley's eye, says that she typically likes dating men more. So how could this go wrong?
Yeah.
Does she got to sleep with a pregnant lady?
Well, I think that there's a this is one of those moments where I think, Ashley's maybe her training actually works against her because she's trying to assess the situation more along the lines of logic and how logically these things will work. And I'm going to set up my parameters logically, whereas she's not taking into account the people whom she's involved with. And you can agree to all kinds of stuff, but once the heart gets involved, it'll kind of steer the ship more so than your brain will. And when she brings this young lady around Shane, if the two of them hit it all, there could be some tension because she may want to, like, she may favor Shane a little more, although she's open to Ashley. Yeah, I think it's Ashley.
Ashley, yeah, it's Ashley and Shane. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Although she might be open to Ashley and willing to do the whole throes of experience with her, she may feel more of a connection to Shane, and that could be problematic. And then Shane, of course, he's all in with Ashley. And I'm not 100% certain that he's about this lifestyle because he's so worried about like the connection that she may have with these other ladies when they go out that he just seems like he has a lot of reservations. He's just kind of going along with it because, to be honest with you, it sounds like she kind of talked him into it. Like, this isn't a thing. This sounds like a good idea. It's like, this psychologically will help me because I did some studies and here are the statistics of what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, either the producers / editors are like sprinkling in little hints, little building up to like, ooh, this is gonna be juicy because like every episode it feels like Shane's like, I don't know, what if they might just take her away from me, or it's all a big nothing burger and it's just them filling time and it means nothing. But we are getting a lot of Shane being like, I hope they don't steal her from me.
And this is kind of the opposite of the Davises because Ashley is wanting everything to be separate. Like, I am in a relationship with this person and I am in a relationship with this person. You two can be friends, nothing more. And if the Davises, it's like, we're all sleeping in one bed. So it's interesting.
The
and
farts alone.
Wayland's not far from Boston, and so I'm gonna have to go ask my husband from that. He's from Hull. I think he lived in Marshfield at one point. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not.
We had a super chat from Jenna H.
Oh yes, Jenna H. Danielle mentioned how she didn't have any serious. Oh, Danielle mentioned how she didn't have any serious relationships before. I know that really blew my mind. Right. I was like, oh, girl, get on Tinder first. Like,
right.
Oh, man. So the other thing that I noticed is, Ashley comes home. She's recounting her date. She reveals that she kissed her. Shane is like, oh, you guys kissed. And then Shane was asking the real questions, in my opinion. And he says, how did she feel about you being pregnant? And she's like, oh, yeah, she's good. Well, Sarah seemed like she was on a job interview to me. Did anyone else get that vibe?
Oh, yeah. I was like, I mean, I get it that maybe these shows struggle to find places to film in, but this was so sterile and like, I mean, it looked like a cop meeting with their undercover agent or like two coworkers on a bench or I did not get date vibes. Although at the end, Ashley was like, we're turning this into a date. I'm going to kiss you now. So
yeah, I was definitely feeling like Ashley was into it. I don't know if Sarah was into it. Sarah seemed like she was like, yeah, like maybe I'll try this out. And then when Ashley starts saying how like they're looking for a wife and, I think Ashley was presenting it as a lot more serious maybe than Sarah thought. And Sarah kind of was like, oh, I'm open to try anything, never say never.
Right. Well, because I think that's the key point because Sarah had mentioned that when she was involved with those types of relationships, they were more in and out. Like they were more one night standish or flings, as opposed to actually trying to build a whole marriage. And it's also ironic too because the way, and this is where I'm saying that, like, if you're going to do this, in my mind, you have to be crystal clear as to what it is you want. You can't use euphemisms. You can't use like little side, oh, well, we're going to get in there and get the fucking boogie. No, you have to say, look, this is what it's going to be. I want a side chick. You're not, you can be friends with it. You can be cool with my husband, but if there's any hanky panky going on, I'm coming in and, the hammers are flying. Like you have to let her know from the start, because she's also, Sarah, to her credit, she was very upfront in saying that I'm attracted to men primarily. I like women, but my main thing is men. That's her thing. That's her business. She's being upfront and honest about it. And she's telling you where she's at. So if you bring that home to your husband, then that's on you. You're inviting stuff into your house.
And maybe this is inappropriate for me to speculate. I'm not sure. But I could potentially see a situation where I don't know what the like fidelity expectations are between the three of them, but what if Sarah starts developing feelings for Shane and they're all in a relationship together? Like,
I mean, I think this is interesting, but didn't we see in the previews that it's going to go the other way and it's going to be, or did I get misled by the previews?
Oh, I was just speculating, so I don't know. It could have been what you said, Amanda. The thing from the next time on that I like globbed onto was when the Ryans are like hunting down their ex-girlfriend like against their wishes. So like
creepy as shit. Yes. That
was that, James?
I was just close to going French on you. I'm about to go bilingual. But yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. I didn't like that at all. I'm not a fan.
Psycho. That's like stalking. Yeah. That's criminal.
Yeah, she said don't come. We going anyway. And we're going to show up and she's just going to accept us and receive us when we get there. No. If she said don't come, she said don't come. Don't be showing up on people.
Yeah, they're doing.
If they told you not to come.
I appreciate that Ashley asked for consent to kiss Sarah at the date. Consent is a 4-letter word to the Ryans.
Yeah, and they're getting all these previews come out when all this information is coming out. Becky being the daughter of like a really horrible person, or sorry, stepdaughter, not daughter, stepdaughter.
Can I give you guys my book report?
Oh, yes.
My Nick Davis book report. Okay, let's move on to the Ryans, who last week just seemed like, I don't know, like a middle-aged couple that wanted to try swinging or something. I don't know. They seemed like harmless. Could not be further from the truth. So I went down the rabbit hole with these guys. Yeah, her stepdad. Well, first of all, her mom basically like Robin Browned her, like kidnapped her from her real dad and then was like, this is your new dad type of situation. There's even like a newspaper article floating around. I saw it on Reddit where like the dad was like, yeah, she basically like stole Becky away from me.
Wow.
So, but yeah, this guy, there are YouTube clips where he is calling Fox News. I included it in my video today, saying that the Bible says that the age of consent is when you hit puberty.
Right.
Mm-hmm,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is this Justin or is this her stepdad?
This is Becky's stepdad.
Okay, got it. Okay, I was thinking this was Justin. And I was like, how do they have this guy on the show?
Yeah, right. No, but still, because check this out. So this guy gets arrested in like 2008. Tony Alamo, which that's not even his like birth name. His birth name is like something Hoffman. I forget what his first name is. But anyways, he goes by Tony Alamo. He hooks up with this chick, Susan, originally, who apparently Susan was like the real like mastermind of this like religious movement. But then she died. And then he started like taking on a bunch of wives. And one of these women was this woman, Sharon, and that is Becky's mom. And so they had like another kid after Becky. And so Becky's on the show saying, like, she literally said, polygamy is not a negative thing when her stepdad went on trial for like raping 8-year-olds. Sorry, this stream could definitely probably get demonetized, but it like wild. So it's and then so he gets convicted, sentenced to 175 years in prison. He ends up dying in jail. While he's on trial, Justin's dad writes a letter to the editor of some newspaper stating basically there's this like smear campaign going on against this guy. Wow. So like Justin's family is like in it just as much.
Right.
And they have been
some circles they call it.
Oh, go ahead, James.
I was saying some circles they might even refer to that as co-conspirators. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they've been trying and failing to hook another sister wife for 20 years. So she there's more. All the information that I read about Becky was that she married Justin when she was 15, not 16.
Right.
And I am wondering if that coincides, because I don't know if they got married in Texas. I know the group at one point was in Arkansas. So I don't know what the age of consent is in those states. And there's something called Cinderella laws in a lot of states where if there's like a larger age gap, like a 4-year age gap or more, then the older person could get prosecuted on statutory rape charges. So I don't know if they said she was 16 so that would like cut out any of that speculation. I don't know.
Well, in some states you can get married as young as 14.
Oh.
You can get married as long as you have parental permission. Like if you have the parents sign off on it, then you can marry somebody at 14. I think that in fairness, I think that the whole like year bump of 16 as opposed to 15 may have been something from production from TLC because it sounds a little more reasonable. Because 15 is cutting way too close to. I mean, it's already. I'm gonna go right on tape. It's already ridiculous. Like that's insane that you would marry your child off because she's a child. That's not a young lady. She's a child. That's a baby. You marrying her off at 15, even 16 years old is insane to me. But it might like to the ear. We heard 16 and we didn't immediately jump on it. We would have heard 15. We might have been a little more like, what the hell? What are you talking about? This isn't healthy. There's nothing right about this. So I think that might be where the year bump came in.
Yeah, the chat is kind of mentioning this, but why is TLC putting these people on our television screen?
Yeah, it's like this came out like a week ago. I saw someone post in the Seeking Sister Wife subreddit. This is like Becky. This is their church, Becky, but I was like, but their last name's Ryan. Like, how do we know? Like, so Ryan is an alias. Their last name is I don't want to like be doxing people, but you can easily find it out. And this guy Justin ran for governor of Texas at one point.
Wow.
As a conservative independent.
Wow, what a piece of work. I guess we know why they're on TV. Sounds like they're quite dying to get into the limelight somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What makes me really sad for them is they have 6 kids and 4 of them still live at home and none of them are babies. So all of them are very impressionable. That makes me really sad for them.
Right. There was actually one thing that struck me because I saw your video, Sarah. It was really good, so I recommend it. You got my stamp of approval. But I saw your video earlier. But the one thing that really struck me with that, because the way she presented, like, oh, at 16, I met Shane and I fell in love with him and I chased him around and I pursued him and I was insistent on going out with him, which explains some things as far as why he's so corny when it comes to the ladies. He has no game. But he's not used to actually putting it out there. But the whole thing that really struck me was maybe she was so anxious to get with him and in such heavy pursuit of him because she belonged to a cult that would start dating you at, like, if she didn't marry Shane at 15 years old, a guy who was close to her age, he very well could have been coupled with a guy who was 50, 60, 70 years old in that next summer. So this, like, her pursuit of him might have been a little more hectic and a little more harrowed than just, I'm interested in him. She might have been looking at it from the respect of, I don't want to be married to an old man. So I'm going to go after the young
dad had like 8-year-old wives.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's got buddies, and that's how a lot of these cults work, because they barter in flesh. So they get the way that they get the alliances and allegiance from these other older guys within the church or the organization is that they pass them these young ladies, and they barter in it. Like, hey, you want a wife? Okay, if you do this, or if you sign this over to me, if you do this real estate deal for me, then I'll get you a young wife. You know, Susie, she's got a young lady coming up. That could be yours. And that's how they kind of trade and barter. So I don't know. It's just sad. Like, if that is the case, it's sad. It's a sad situation.
You know, I was thinking about this too, James. You're the one who's always like, "Oh, the polygamy propaganda network, TLC," and it's like kind of true, because why isn't TLC digging into this stuff? It's very fascinating. Like, it's 2024. We're in the like documentary heyday of our, lives. Everyone is just like always super interested in this kind of stuff. Sarah did the digging and we're like, oh my goodness, this stuff, like, they should be calling this out. Like, look at how horrible this is. So it's another choice of like not showing the dark side of polygamy.
Right.
And that's like, when watching Sister Wives, like we've talked about it all the time, how like I liked Cody for like the first 4 seasons. And I just thought, like, genuinely, this was just a family, like any other family, who just wanted to structure their family differently. So why not? Then, like, put any relationship, I guess, under this dynamic on TV for 18 seasons. Would we put the Davises on TV for 18 seasons? Are we going to start saying, shoot, we're 3 episodes or 4 episodes into the second season and I'm already like, I don't know anymore about these people. Right. So can any polygamous family stand up to public scrutiny?
Seems like no.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll even go as far as to say this. I think that with TLC, they have like they support by being anti-thing. So they support 90 Day Fiance by putting up faulty relationships of examples of the K1 visa. They very well may be doing the same thing with polygamy. I think that it'd be a stretch for them to find people who are successfully achieving a polygamous lifestyle that's healthy and you can put on TV and people say, oh, that works. But at the same time, no disrespect to Sarah, because I think you did an excellent job with your research and finding out this stuff, like digging this all up. This is incredible. But at the same time, you did this just using the internet. TLC has their social security numbers.
Yeah.
They have access to so much more information. You can't tell me the production team at TLC had no idea who this woman was and who this family was and who they were associated with. That would be ridiculous to me, because they put too much money into these shows for them to put somebody on, which also goes into another thing I'll say. If you are ever on a TLC show, please keep in mind, you are not safe. You are not safe, because they will put you on there. Because I've done videos before where they the folks from 90 Day Fiance, and they had all kinds of lunatics on that thing. And you'll be on the screen with people who you shouldn't even be in a room with. You shouldn't even be in a building with half these people. Much less, we're going to spend the night together. No, don't spend no nights with them. That's like going to Crystal Lake. Like, what are you doing? So, no, I'm not I think TLC knew all about this. I think they know, and they might have wanted it to blow up.
I mean, we have nowadays, there's like so many just like TikTok channels. They're like, how to hack the algorithm, how to, and there is a chance that they wanted people to talk about this and they were like, great, this will add to the, publicity for the show.
Right.
Yeah. I honestly, James, you are so right. Like, I didn't even do the digging. I read a Reddit post and clicked links and I was like, whoa. And then like I started watching. There's actually a docu series about this guy. It's on AMC Plus. It's called Ministry of Evil. And so like there's a whole ass docu series about this dude, about how like real bad he is. And then they have his stepdaughter being like, oh my God, like I grew up in polygamy and my dad was the pastor. Your dad was this guy? Are you kidding me?
It's like a failure to us as their audience that they are not forcing her to answer questions about this.
I wonder if, and I saw a meme and I think you reposted it, Amanda, about how we need a Seeking Sister Wife tell-all because I want that. I want this address. This is the pink elephant in the room.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this is a big deal. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, knowing TLC, they'd give us a tell-all and then nobody would ask the interesting questions. It'd be a waste of time.
Yeah, right. I was just going to say that I think that this makes like the information that Sarah found in the conversation we were just having, that makes the whole idea of them driving out to see somebody uninvited, when they were invited, okay, I'll meet with you. No, I don't want to do it. I changed my mind. Well, we're going anyway. That makes that takes it to a whole nother level. That walks it into a totally different room. Like now we left the creepy space to maybe she needs to call the police. Like this is one of those things. So I don't feel comfortable with that at all. I don't like it in general, but I definitely don't feel comfortable with it knowing their family history and the things that they've said that they were okay with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because by saying that you're a part of this, and you're proud of your dad, you're proud of your family, you're proud of your church and your organizations, and then you're going to conduct yourself this way, I'm not really a big fan.
I'm uncomfortable too. The previews made me uncomfortable too.
And just knowing that like this woman did not sign off on having her image like out there, like they blur her. So like clearly she does not want to be a part of this show in any way. And here they are taking cameras with them to go hunt her down.
Yeah, for people who didn't see the previews, we're talking about the Ryans. They tell us that their ex tells them, don't come see me. And then they show the Ryans being like, we're just going to go see her anyways. We're just going to be like, hey, surprise, we're here.
You're right. We're coming. Well, and because even with that, it's crazy to me because they presented, like even talking about what Amanda was insinuating before with TLC. TLC presents it in a way that she may have been hesitant about getting involved with polygamy, but she very well may be hesitant about being associated with the Alamo family. You know what I mean? So it's not the fact that,
Oh, James, hold on. Your sound is going in and out.
Jumping? Oh, okay. Hold on.
Kremlins are here.
I'll be right. All right, did that better? Fix it?
Yeah.
I was just saying that maybe that was part of the problem. Is it jumping still?
It's a little still sketchy.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. While he's attending to his audio, we got a super chat from Christy. Thank you so much. I love all three of you. So glad I was able to catch you live. This is a fun show to talk about. I know I'm saying that whilst talking about these people, but there's a lot of light moments. So that's fun to talk about. How are you doing, James?
I think I'm better. Right?
Oh no, the Ryans kidnapped James.
Too soon, gossip. Too soon.
The Kremlins always get James.
Yeah, I know.
Are the Ryans Kremlins?
You're right. Maybe. Oh,
Well, I'm really sad we didn't get the Salahuddins this episode because I want to see more of is it Naeem's mom?
Jamila.
Calling him Jeremy.
mhm.
I can't wait for more of that. But the Marfields, and boy, they really are the stars, aren't they?
Bright and shiny.
Yeah, right.
Garrick is
Resting
like an
Dusty.
AI glitch as a human being. He's like, like the way he talks is like, I'm trying to conjure emotion.
Yeah, right.
Can't get there.
That's because he don't have any blood flow that passes his shoulders.
I saw some like quiet rage behind his eyeballs. I feel like this episode where when is it Natalia or Natalia? I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong, but
No, that was great. Sarah was like, "Is it Natalia?" You did. You nailed it.
When she was talking to Garrick, how Danielle said she was afraid, and Garrick's like, afraid? And then Danielle's like, I didn't say afraid. And she's like, yeah, you said afraid. You said afraid like 5 times. What are you talking about? And Garrick's eyes were like, and I was like, I don't want to be there when they have a conversation later.
It was the explosive eyes, but then as soon as she said it, like she started talking about Roberta and her being Danielle being afraid. Then Garrett not only did crazy eyes, but he turned away. Like I think he turned away to try to calm his rage. Like he was pissed. Like he was not a happy dude. Like this isn't we're gonna go to meet the No, he was upset.
Yeah.
Oh, James, we lost your sound. It was doing the robot thing again, and then it just went away. And oh, now you're back. Okay.
Gossip's asking the real questions. What do these women see in Garrick? Garrick Gaslight. And yet, the Ryans can't secure a date.
I mean, I don't think that the women are seeing anything in him. He can't get somebody who. Sorry, James in the background. I felt like we were in a old style newsroom for a second. With the typing. I don't think. I think it's very clear that they can only get women who maybe don't understand what they're getting into with Garrick, who don't speak English, and who, you know, do they think they're going to be able to get these? They already had one failed K9 or K1 visa,
right?
I don't think even Garrick can get very many women. I don't know what they see in him other than free trips to Mexico.
Yeah, and I think James had the info last time we talked about this, about like how many times you can even go through the K1 visa process.
That's right. He did mention it.
Yeah.
I think he had said maybe twice. Well, if we get him back, he can correct
it's a bad look if you're like, JK, not her.
Right.
Like, oh my goodness. So their second day in Mexico was fun-ish, and we're just waiting for James. Oh, there you are.
I don't think he can hear us.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear us? Oh.
You fuckers.
James, you're not
we
muted.
can hear you. I don't think he knows we can hear us. We can hear him.
I got less vibes that Danielle was pulling strings of manipulation this episode, and more like she was trying to like run damage control for like making Garrick look bad to Natalia.
Yeah, I mean, she literally says, "Oh, darn it, I'm afraid Garrick's going to be mad because I showed my true cards to Natalia, and now we can't trick her as easily into thinking I'm totally on board with this."
Mm-hmm. And Garrick said, quote, "I really feel like God promised our family." Oh, hopefully James will come back.
Yeah, maybe he's popping out and back in and seeing
Yeah.
if that'll fix it.
Garrick says, quote, "I really feel like God promised our family more than just Danielle. I mean, I had a vision years ago that I had 5 wives and they were good."
Can you imagine you're Danielle hearing this?
Yeah, right? Like, I really feel like we're supposed to have more than just Danielle.
Just Danielle.
Just Danielle. Is that her new nickname? It's going to be just Danielle.
She goes from the big one to just Danielle.
I guess I'd rather be just Sarah than like big wife.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on, yeah. Do you want to be not enough or called fat?
Yeah. Mace Chill asking a great question. Does Natalia know there will be 5 total? I doubt it.
I'm sorry, Kathy in the chat. We can hear James cussing. Yeah. It's been one of those nights.
It's, yeah. Sometimes the internet powers that be are. Oh, there he is. Hello.
I'm back.
Yay.
This is insane. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. Somebody don't want me to speak about it. That's what it is.
It's Garrick.
I know. He's like, you are not going to talk about me on this show again.
Garrick sent the Holy Spirit wind to like mess up your studio.
Like,
James, we're crowdfunding you a mic.
Yeah, right.
Sarcasm for Fun says we need to send some healing prayers to Kathy, who managed to, with the Kremlin's help, trip down her stairs and broke her foot. Oh no!
Oh wow! Oh no!
Please feel better, Kathy. I am so sorry about that. I twisted my ankle once walking downstairs, and that shot pain into my leg like I have never felt before. So I am so sorry about that. That's awful.
Yeah, and on the record, Kathy would rather be just Kathy than Big Kathy. So
okay,
we know which one she would choose.
Big Kathy has a nice ring to it, though. Like you kind of sound like you have like mob ties.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think because that's what they call Kathy Hilton on Real Housewives. They call her Big Kathy.
Yeah.
And she's like the mob leader.
Yeah. CB, thank you for bringing this up. The Winders were successful. They were on earlier seasons of Seeking Sister Wife, but TLC found them less dramatic. And I always wonder, because I follow the Winders on Instagram, they've had a bunch more kids, still only the 2 wives. Would we still like them if they stayed? Like, what would things become less rosy? Because they are like the pinnacle of Mormon polygamy for a lot of us. What was his name? I forget the husband's name.
Is this the guy who was like kind of balding white guy?
He was like a pharmacist, and they owned a ranch, and it was Sophie and someone were the wives. Tammy and Sophie, and I don't know. People will tell me. But anyways, he seemed to really genuinely care about his wives. But it's like, would we see the mask come off if they were on TV longer?
I think so. So. They're the ones I'm thinking about, because he was too excited about the new wife.
Colton.
Yes. I think that was his name. Yeah.
Yeah,
he was too excited about the new wife. If it's the one that called in and said that she had got killed or whatever, and then they turned around and she was on Facebook, like apparently she got better.
That was the Aldridges. That is one of my all-time favorite storylines on Seeking Sister Wife. I don't know if you've seen this season, Amanda, but I think it's season 2. I'm not 100% sure, but
Maybe
they
it's 3.
date. What?
I think it's season 3.
Oh,
'Cause I
3.
didn't start watching. Yeah.
Yeah, they date a woman who fakes her own death.
Wow.
To break up with him. To break up with him.
That's amazing. Wow.
And
And
she
yeah,
went.
they find her like she's like posting on Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe TLC isn't the polygamy propaganda because that's sad.
and
That's
it's
terrible.
one of his wives is Mitch Aspen's husband, Mitch's sister. So like
Mm.
they have a connection to the Browns.
Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, the guy, the husband, he appeared on Sister Wives too. Like there was a period where Cody had met some of his friends. He was one of the friends that he had met with when he did like a boys' night out.
Mhm.
So he's been around, yeah. But yeah, it was messed up because they went on a date. Like they were supposed to meet this woman. They all sat around on a picnic and they talked and they were, oh, we're so excited to meet you and the kids are going to meet you and it's going to be such a great thing to bring you into the family. It's going to be amazing. You're going to go out with the husband on a one-on-one date. Then you're going to come back because she was a nail tech. So you're going to come back to the hotel after your date with him and you're going to do our nails.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
they were turning into an attention servant. So she goes out, she skates around with him at a ice skating rink. And after the date is over, he's like, all right, let's go back to the hotel. And she's like, oh, I got a phone call. I'll be right back. And then she said, what? Who shot who? Oh, my goodness. All right, well, I'll be right there. I got to go. It's a family emergency. And she leaves. And then like a week and then they don't hear anything. A week later, they start getting texts supposedly from her sister saying that, yeah, she's in the hospital. She ain't going to make it. She just passed away. Oh, my goodness, it's terrible. We don't know what to say. And then all of a sudden, the messages stopped. And then they found out she was on Facebook. Like, yeah, I'm not having a great time. Like,
that was great.
that's awesome.
That was peak sister. Oh, man.
Oh wow.
Mace Chill thinks Danielle was definitely trying to, pull some strings, ruin things between Garrick and Natalia. I definitely can see that. Danielle definitely has Mary first wife energy. Like she is kind of like, okay, Garrick, you're going to put me in this role. I will assume this role and I will mess your life up.
Right. Well, you know what it is? She doesn't want to. I don't know if you guys have covered this because I was in and out with thanks to the criminals, but she doesn't want to be in this relationship. She doesn't want anything to do with polygamy, and it's obvious that she doesn't because she takes every opportunity she can to try to sabotage Garrick, try to pull him back. Oh, well, maybe we shouldn't do it because Roberta hurt us so much. I cared so much about Roberta, but when he had Roberta, she spent most of her time trying to convince him that he was moving too fast with Roberta and he's giving too much to Roberta. And she actually is the one that convinced Garrick to go out on that date with the girl Leah, the African-American woman, so that she could break up the thing that's eventually what supposedly broke up the relationship between Garrick and Roberta. She did that. So yeah, she's been trying to spice it the whole time. But Natalia is my girl. Like that, I think that, I looked at it from the perspective of her being so young and them trying to go down and take care of a young person in a foreign country. But we can't escape the fact that by being from certain parts of the world, you mature faster. She might be way more worldly than both Garrick and Danielle put together. She knows, she might know more about them streets than both these people put together. So she's very straightforward as far as being able to read people, read in a room, being able to interpret people's movements and dynamics, their body language, how they're talking. She's very keen on that. Even when they were having the argument, you lied, you've been checking them sites, you lying ass bastard. And he, no, I haven't. That's a lie. And she was standing the whole time with the phone listening to with the translator running so she could see what they were talking about. This girl is on the point.
She has a high EQ, that's for sure. She
Right.
can read the room, and she is a girl's girl. I like her.
Yeah, I like her a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, Roberta was kind of like, I can tell Danielle's not totally on board, but she didn't really come out. Natalia's like, here's what's going on. Danielle is saying that she's going to do it because she thinks it's what God has for their life planned. But I can tell that she actually doesn't want this. And, I need her to actually want this. Like, yes, she's very perceptive and she is being blunt. She's reading her.
Right. And I like the fact that I like the straightforwardness too, because she's not playing like she's not mincing words. She's not trying to play cute. She's just trying to get to the quick of it. So Danielle saying she has a problem with it. This relationship isn't going to work if one of us has a problem with it, because I'm not coming to America and have to deal with somebody who's going to be treating me nasty the whole time. Like, I can respect that. And the fact that Garrick can't see past his man parts in order to figure out what's going on with these ladies, because even when he was standing there supposedly
be like,
coming down,
sorry, I can't see anything.
I can't see past my belly button. But the whole thing is that the way he's doing it is, I can't stand here and have this conversation with them because I have both these women coming at me. They weren't even really coming after you. They were just asking you direct questions, and you couldn't answer the damn direct question. How hard is that? I was on the site. All he had to say was, look, we have 2 people here, 1, 2. I said I'm going to have 5 wives. Of course I'm on the site still. Of course I'm still looking around because we're still looking for 3 other people. Mm-hmm. And so if we're moved to do that, then I'll do that. But am I actively looking? No. As far as deleting the thing, all he had to say was, you know what? Well, she told you to delete it, and now you're deleting it. Baby, you know what? And this maybe is an asshole part of it. Baby, you know what? You are right. I'm part of my friend. You are right. I'm going friends all night. You are right. I should have deleted it when you told me to delete it. That's all he had to say. You're 100% right. I should have did it when you told me, and we wouldn't be having this problem right now. You're right. Absolutely right. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Based on what you suggest.
I'm thinking along the lines of Mace Chill in the chat. Has Garrick told Natalia that he's planning on having 5 wives?
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
He's trying to trick her. He absolutely does not want her to realize that, he's planning on just keeping the ladies coming, a steady, flow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure, even if he did mention it, and I'll even give credit to Mace on that, but that's a good pickup, because even if he did mention it, I don't think that anybody, even Roberta, I think she knew that there were going to be additional wives, but I don't think that they really think that he's going to actively go out while we're still in the mix, and try to find people. This is kind of like when you have a friend and you meet somebody and you're kind of talking to them and your friend says, hey, you think they got somebody for me? Dude, I'm not even in there yet. What are you talking about? I'm not even solid. I don't even know if I like her. Why would I hook you up with her best friend and all of a sudden I got to hang out with somebody I don't like it, I don't really like. So no, we got to just make sure everything is everything. And I think that's where even Roberta and Natalia, if they know about it, is where they are. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you again. It's coming.
Thank you.
Leanne Marie says, I love how Garrick only has to be engaged to sleep with these women. What Christian philosophy allows pre-marriage boom boom? None that I know of.
It's so stupid. Just give up the whole pretense that this is God's plan and you're just being a great Christian. It's like, no, everybody can see through that. Who do they think they're fooling? Nobody is buying this.
Yeah. Jenna said Danielle did an IG live. Did anyone see it? I think, yeah. Aren't they going live after the episodes? Are they doing that every week?
Yeah, but just Danielle did it Monday. Oh. Did you watch, James?
I heard part of it. And that's why I'm to be honest with you, up until this point, I kind of felt bad for Danielle. I had some reservations about really coming down on her. But after listening to that interview, those reservations are now gone. Danielle is all the way in. She's just as guilty of this whole thing as Garrick is, as far as I'm concerned. She's as bad as he is because she's an enabler.
So you caught that live and you interpreted it as she's putting on a show, not necessarily, she's being had, she's delusional, she's not living in reality. Right.
Well, I think that she's manipulating the situation. I wouldn't say it that way because I would say, she's just kind of playing the scenario. She's manipulating the situation because Garrick wants to do the not the premarital. He does want to do the premarital. But Garrick wants to do the polygamy thing. She's not necessarily wanting to do the polygamy thing or participate in it, but she understands that she can't come directly out and tell Garrick that this is something I don't want to do. So she's playing along with it, allowing him to have his fun, allowing him to go out with these women, and then trying to sabotage it on the back end. Like, I think that that's what she's doing. But by doing that, you're still participating in it. Like, if you just because you're tricking them into the house, and just because you don't keep them after you trick them in, doesn't mean that you weren't part of, bringing them into the house and fooling them and manipulating them into coming in the first place. So I think she's a part of it too. Like, and I have an issue with that. Like, if you didn't have anything to do with it, you were trying to resist it, trying to push it back on it, then I'd be okay with it. But like, if you're like, okay, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I got to keep Garrick happy because I'm trying to keep my position. Then you're right there with him.
I agree with you that she's culpable, but when I watched the live, I was like, I thought it was giving Russian who has been told they better change their, those Americans that moved to Russia. There were Canadians that moved to Russia, and then they were like shit talking Russia, and then the next day they were like, we retract everything we said. It's like, clearly somebody came and visited them and told them, you better straighten up or we'll throw you out of a window. I thought that Danielle's live was giving off that, like, she was saying how happy she was and stuff, and like, that's contradictory to what we're seeing in this episode. Danielle is crying. Right. Danielle's afraid of Garrick. She's afraid of their future. So I think it's a both. I think she's culpable and she is like lost and trying really hard to get on board with this thing she's never been on board with.
Right.
One of the things that just irritated me in all of their scenes is Danielle, every time she's crying, she's saying that it's because of Roberta. Roberta hurt them. Blah, 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 Roberta. Girl, no. That is not why you are crying. You are crying because your husband's an asshole.
Right.
Stop blaming Roberta.
No. Yeah.
Right. And even the fact that, like, Roberta, she did what she needed to do. And if we look at the situation with Roberta, for those who don't know, Roberta was the person that they had dated previously. That was the person that they had dated, I guess, for the last 2 seasons previous to this. She had a 2-season run. And when they were dating Roberta and it was time for her to come to America, Roberta was conflicted because one of the things she had said was, my mother is sick and she's not doing well. So she was kind of in that quandary where I may lose my mom. And if I come to America, I can't come back and be with my mom when she dies, if she dies. I don't know if she passed away or not. But that was something that she was dealing with. And the Marfields looked her in the face and said, to hell with your mama. You need to come to America because Garrick need to push a kid in you. And that's what we need to do. Like, and so the fact that you did that would have alerted me. The behind the back, dating behind my back, the fact that you still pursuing other people, the fact that you don't care about what I think, because we're supposed to be a unit. We're all supposed to agree on it, but you're out dating other people. So how am I putting my input in the person that you're going to bring into our family? And then on top of that, when something happens to my mom, I can't even be concerned about my mom fully because you too worried about getting your rocks off. Bruh, you miss me with that. Yeah, I'll let that plane ticket go too because it's not worth it, you know?
Agreed.
Yeah. And that was...
Brooke says Roberta was probably on birth control the whole time.
I hope so. I hope so.
Me too.
Donna says that she hopes Roberta knew what she was doing, got her money and ran. I hope so too. Get a couple months rent paid for.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, search that paper.
Couple trips to Mexico.
Right.
Why not?
Luxury trips. Because that's the thing too, because they trip me out when they go down, they ball out. So they go down, we're gonna rent a villa. We're not getting hotel rooms, we're gonna rent a villa. We're gonna have swimming pools there, we're gonna have the whole nine. It's gonna be butler service, maid service, we're gonna have all that. We're gonna fly you in, we're gonna pay for all your rent, and then you're surprised that they're using you for money.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Oh, the one point I did want to make. They talk a lot about the Lord. Because they say, Lord told us and God told us God. And the thing that really struck me, and I even put it in one of my videos earlier about the Marfields, shameless plug. But the thing that hit me was, I thought about it. I said, you know what? Maybe that was God put that on Danielle and Garrick's heart. Because if they sat there and said, I want to be happy. I want to marry somebody who makes me happy. And that's what Danielle was praying for. God said, okay, sometimes I got to take you out of a bad situation and put you in a good situation. So go ahead and do the polygamy thing, because that's for sure going to break y'all up. And then I can put you with the man you really want to be with. It's going to make you happy. Maybe that's the track Danielle is on. Maybe she's going to find her happiness after she leaves Garrick in this bad situation. Because this is not working. Because he doesn't give a damn about her. He doesn't care about her at all. And it's apparent. It's sad to watch.
Cursing his mellow in all the worst ways. Like he visibly annoyed, and he does not show an emotion at all. And he was visibly annoyed.
Yeah, I see a lot of online chatter about how, Danielle is a catch and she doesn't seem to realize it. And I agree. I think that outside of whether it's delusion or whatever it is that's keeping her with Garrick, she's smart and she seems to be hardworking. She seems to be loyal. She seems to love her kids. She seems to love her husband, despite the fact that he doesn't love her, doesn't think she's enough. Just Danielle. Just Danielle. Nickname. Oh God.
Yeah. We have a request, James, to know what your shirt says.
Oh yeah, I was curious about this too.
It says, "Warning: Don't touch my tools or my daughter."
Yeah. That's cute. That's so cute.
What are you, the dad from 10 Things I Hate About You? Come on.
You're Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Right. Well, you should see my garage. I do have some stuff in there. So yeah, don't touch my tools. Don't ask to borrow no wrenches because you never bring them back. Then I got a whole set with like 3 missing wrenches. It's ridiculous. So.
Oh man. Ty, thank you so much for this super sticker. All right, you guys. Well, this was so much fun. Make sure whatever channel you're watching on, like, subscribe, do all those YouTube-y things, and we will all see you in our next respective videos.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Have a good night.
All right. See you later.